Okay, hi everyone. My name is Charlotte, and I just wanted to tell you about my paranormal experiences that I've had in my house because I've lived here for since I was like 2, so about 15 years now, and it's just because it's a really old house, so I've had a bunch of experiences and stuff. So I just want to tell you about them because I've been watching all those paranormal experience videos, and I thought I'd make make one for myself. So the first thing that happened when I moved in was I was about 2 when I moved in, and um, so I think a couple months after I moved in, I made this imaginary friend named Al, and I would tell my mom, and I'd be like, "Mom, Al gave me a piggyback ride today," and she'd be like, "Okay, Charlotte, whatever," and so I had him for a while, and first of all, when you're 2, I don't really think you know names like Al or whatever. So I've had him for a while, and it turned out that the man who lived in my house before we moved in was named Al, and he passed away, and so that's kind of creepy because was I actually talking to the ghost of Al who lived in my house before me, or was it just a coincidence that I made an imaginary friend named Al? So yeah, I thought that was kind of weird. And also recently, a couple months ago, I was with my friend, and I was like, oh yeah, I want to try to use a Ouija board, see if I can contact him. So I didn't do it in my house because apparently you're not supposed to use a Ouija board in your house. So we went outside, and I had just made one on a piece of paper. I just wrote the alphabet and the numbers and yes and no and goodbye and all that. And so I was with my friend, and we were sitting in my backyard, across from each other, and we were using a quarter because we don't have anything else to use. So we put both fingers on the quarter and we move it around, and I go okay, first of all, no negative spirits, all that, because I did a lot of research before I actually did this whole Ouija board session. And so I was like, is there anyone here with us? And the quarter moved to yes. And at first I was looking at my friend across from me. I was like, okay, are you moving this? I mean, I didn't say anything because I thought she was moving it just because she was trying to be funny, but she wasn't. And then I go, is Al with us? And the quarter moves to yes, and I'm like, oh crap, like and then I asked can you spell your name, just because I wanted to see if it's actually him. And so it moved to A and then L, and then it moved back to the middle. I was like, okay, is this for real? Are we actually talking to this guy right now? And we started asking him questions how old he was, and he said he was 75, and he was an old man who lived in my house before me, and he was single too. He didn't have a wife or anything. I think he might have been widowed. And so we asked him if he had a family, and he said no. And we asked are you happy where you are, and he said yes. And we asked if he was safe, and he said yes, so he was in a good place. And another thing that happened during that session was we asked him, or I asked him, what his nickname was, because I know from my mom, she said that his nickname was Moose for whatever reason. So I asked him what his nickname was, and it moved to the M, and then the O, and then the S and the E. And at first he spelled Moses, but I kind of thought that was close enough to Moose. So yeah, that happened, and yeah, so I asked him if he was sitting with us, and he said he was sitting to the right of me, I think. And at first I wanted to put my hand out to see if it was colder or anything, but I was too much of a wimp, and I was so shocked that this was actually working. So I never actually did that, but it was crazy. Afterwards, I was talking with my friend, and I was like, I was not moving that quarter at all, and she was like, neither was I. So that was crazy. And yeah, so backtracking, when I was in middle school, a lot of weird stuff happened in my house, just in general. When I was in middle school, I was sleeping one night, and I remember there was supposed to be a meteor shower at 3 3:15 or like 3:20 in the morning, and it was weird because my body just like woke itself up because I was gonna like look out my window to see if I could see anything. And so I woke up and I went to my window and I looked outside and I didn't see anything, so I just went back to bed, and then I was just kind of like laying awake. Then I went to go look again, and then I saw nothing, so I went back to bed. And I was just laying in my bed. I was looking at my room, and all of a sudden, like out of nowhere, I just see this ball of light, and it's probably around like a soccer ball sized. So it was like an orb of light, and it just appeared out of nowhere. And this whole thing happened like within the span of like maybe 2 seconds. So I saw it, and it hit the wall. So like if it were here, it hit the wall, and it just became like a circle of light on the wall. Then it went up to the ceiling, and then over where it like originated, and then just went away. And it happened so quickly that I was like, did I actually just see that, or am I like dreaming, or like I don't know what happened. But I saw that, and that was really weird, and I guess I fell asleep after that. And it never happened again. That was the only time I ever saw that sort of thing happen, like orbs and whatnot. But it was really big, and I was like really surprised too. And so, oh, by the way, that's not like an orb, that's like light shining on the from the window. So another thing that happened when I was in middle school was my basement used to be able to like sit down there and just like watch TV and chill and stuff. So I was sitting down there one night, and in the corner we have like this like oil tank thing, and there's kind of this makeshift wall around it, so it doesn't go all the way to the ceiling, but it kind of stops before. So it's like around the oil burner or oil tank or whatever, and there were these beams on top of it like diagonally, so they couldn't really like fall off, like they were pretty securely up there. So I was just watching TV, and all of a sudden, out of nowhere, one of them just fell to the floor. And I look over there, and I mean, nothing is moving anymore. And I'm just staring at that spot. Like, and I went over there, I'm like, how did that fall off? Like, something obviously had to be there to push it off the thing. Like, that doesn't just happen. Like, things don't just fall off out of nowhere. Because I looked at the other one, the beam that it was right next to, and it was like really securely on there, like balanced on there. So that was really weird, and I have like no explanation for like how that happened or anything. So yeah, that was another weird thing. And most of this happened in middle school. I don't know why, but like most of the experiences that I've had were all from middle school. Another thing that I saw one night was I was sleeping. I was like laying down, and I mean I wasn't really sleeping, I was like awake, but I was looking at the wall like across from me, and normally like I live on a street, so there's a lot of like shadow, like lights from like cars moving and stuff, like cars passing by the house or like going down the other street. But I looked at my wall, and I could see the outline of like a head and shoulders on my wall. And I'm like, okay, like, and it was tall too. It was like at least 6 feet tall. And so I look over, I'm staring at it, and it just moves over and disappears. And I'm like, okay, that's really weird. And yeah, that's the only time I ever really saw that. But most of the time when I'm sleeping, like, I feel like I'm being watched. Like, things just like happen like that, and I'll like hear little creaks and stuff. And another thing that happened, I think this was more recent, like this was in high school, not in middle school, but so my cat was in my room, and you know how like animals can apparently see ghosts and stuff. So my cat was sitting on my bed, and I hear a creak in the corner of my bedroom, and I look over there, I'm like, okay, whatever. But my cat is on my bed, and he's staring at that spot, and then all of a sudden he just jumps off, and he walks over to that spot, and he sits there and stares at the spot, and there's nothing there. And it was really weird because I tried calling him back over, but he didn't move. Like, he was just staring at the corner of my bedroom, which was really weird. And yeah, another thing that happened in middle school was I had a friend sleep over, and I have two beds in my room, so there's two twin size beds. and she said one morning she was sleeping, and or maybe she was like half awake, and she feels someone sit on the side of her bed, like someone actually sat down. And she was like, yeah, I was like really scared because she was like laying in bed, and then all of a sudden she feels something sit there and there's nothing there. And I felt that too, actually, like on my bed. And it's like, I can't explain it. It's like a weird feeling because there's nothing there, but you feel like there is. So it's like really kind of creepy. But yeah, that's pretty much it. My house is like really old. Like it was built in like 1923, I think. So yeah. Um, I've heard like footsteps and stuff, and like I feel like there's like something watching me when I'm walking down the hallway to the bathroom, and it's just like really discomforting. And I mean, nothing much has happened lately, but yeah, I just hear creaks a lot, and it's just kind of creepy when I'm home alone. Cause I like run down the hallway, or I run down the stairs to the main floor. So yeah, that's pretty much it. I just want to make a video like this, just explaining stuff that happened and stuff. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed. If anything else happens, I'll make like update videos and stuff. So yeah, please thumbs up this video, comment and stuff if anything happened to you, and subscribe. And yeah, so thank you so much for watching. Bye.